Hello, Math 10 students. This is Mrs. Parsons, and today we are talking about perimeter and area, so make sure that you have your notebook out ready to take notes. So what is perimeter? Well, perimeter in mathematics is the distance around a shape, and we can find this by finding the sums of all the sides. So we're going to make these a little harder since we are sophomores and juniors. And we want to find the perimeter of this rectangle, which is one side is 3x plus 2 and the other side is 8x plus 1. So some things we know about rectangles, most of you guys are in geometry, that these sides are congruent to each other. So if this side is 3x plus 2, this side is also 3x plus 2, and this longer side is also congruent to this other side. So this is also 8x plus 1. So if I wanted to find the perimeter, I would add up all these sides. So I have 3x plus 2 plus 8x plus 1 plus this side, 3x plus 2 plus this last side, 8x plus 1. Now I want to combine all my like terms. So everything with an x is a like term. So I have 3x plus 8x plus 3x plus 8x. So that would be 22x. And then I have 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 22x plus 6. So this is the expression that represents my perimeter. So I'm going to mark that with a big P. So what are some things that we know about squares? We have this nice formula that we can use, 4 times the side. But if we know some things about squares, we know that squares, all the sides are equivalent. So this side and this side and this side and this side are congruent, or they're all the same. So if this is 2x, this is 2x, this is 2x, and this is 2x. So if I added up all my sides, I would have 2x plus 2x plus 2x plus 2x, which would be 8x. I could also use this formula that says the perimeter is 4 times the side length, which is 2x, and also get 8x. Now, what if I had an irregular shape, such as this star here? Well, we'd still do the same thing, and we would add up all the sides. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to put that number 1, and I'm just going to go around and add all of these together. So I'm going clockwise. So T plus F plus G plus H plus F plus F plus H plus G plus F. And then I'm going to combine all my like terms. So I have 1t, 2t, 1f, 2f's, 3f's, 4f's, plus 1g, 2g's, and 1h, 2h. So this is the expression that would represent my perimeter. Still doing the same thing. I'm still finding the sum, meaning I'm adding all of the sides together. Now, circles. Circles are pointless. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, we have a formula for circumference, which is the same thing as perimeter. Okay, it's just a fancy word that we use just for a circle. That is, the circumference of a circle is the same thing as a perimeter of a circle. But since it doesn't have any edges, we use the radius to help us in this formula. So the circumference is 2 times pi times the radius, which is 4. And then I multiply 2 and 4 together to give me 8 pi. Okay, most of the time we just leave it like that. Okay, you could also put it in your calculator. If you have a pi button, check out your calculator. If you have a pi button, use it. If not, you can use 3.14 and it'll get you pretty close. And it would be 25.13. So be careful whether the question will ask you to leave it in terms of pi or to calculate it and round it. Then we have area. Area measures the amount of space inside a shape. So if you were replacing your carpet in your bedroom, you would need to know the area of that room to be able to figure out how much carpet you would need and how much they would charge for that carpet. So if you're ever in Home Depot or Lowe's, it will say it's $2.75 per square foot. So you would have to know how many square feet is in your room. That's the area. And multiply that by 275 to figure out how much they would charge for that. And we have formulas that we use to find the area of these shapes. So a rectangle, its area is length times width. So it doesn't matter which one you call the length and which one you call the width, as long as you're multiplying it together. So I'm going to call this the length and this the width. And I'm going to multiply those together. So I have 4x times 2x plus 1. And I would distribute to get 8x squared plus 4x. So my area is represented by this expression. Now, if I had units on this, if I had feet, when we are talking about area, it is feet squared. Might have inches squared, might have miles squared, but the units are always square units for area. The area of a square is the side length squared. So area is the side length. We're going to put it in parentheses because this is the whole side length, and I'm going to square it. And now we have to use our exponent rules, right? So it's kind of a janky form of distribution here, where I would have 2 squared times x squared, and 2 squared is 4x squared. So the expression that represents this area is 4x squared. Now we also have area of a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. So in this example, I give you the base of this triangle, and I also give you the height of this triangle. So we can just put it into our formula, 1/2 times the base times the height. I use my handy dandy calculator, 449 times 5.7, and I get 13.965 for my area. Last but not least, we have circles. The area is pi r squared. No, pi r round. Got a lot of circle jokes. Don't worry, I'll be here all night. Same circle as before. It's got the radius of 4. So if I use my formula, my area is pi times 4 squared. So then I'm going to evaluate 4 squared, and I get 16 pi. Okay, we can leave it like that if it asks us to, or I can put it in my calculator, and I get 50.265. Okay, let's do a little rounding lesson. If it asks us to round to the hundredths place, okay, that is this place right here, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Okay, you look next door. If it is a 5 or higher, this number rounds up. So if I was going to round this to the hundredths place, I would have 27. Okay. All right, and that is the end for perimeter and area. Go answer your questions, your CFUs, our checks for understandings.